Hey, remember this scene from Star Wars?
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Now imagine Luke didn't scream, and instead said, yes please, I'd love to join the dark side, Daddy. Now replace Darth Vader with the fossil fuel industry, and Luke with the Australian government, and that's just about what state capture looks like here in Australia.
It's a temperature check on the climate crisis.
So what do we mean when we say state capture? Well, that's when the public policymakers of a country, like the Australian government, are being manipulated and controlled by a private interest, like the fossil fuel and mining industries, in order to benefit that interest's aims, which is always just to make buckets of money, usually at the expense of the people and places in that country. So to understand exactly why the government is selling our futures to the fossil fuel industry, I asked Dr. Richard Dennis from the Australia Institute. Richard, why?
I guess that's the $10 billion question. Our politicians seem hooked on making the gas industry happy, but to be clear, our budget's not hooked. We could get so much more tax from the gas industry if we wanted. Instead of giving it away for free, if we put a 25% tax on the exports, we could raise over $10 billion a year in revenue. But I still haven't answered the question of why. Why are we so beholden to these people? Look, there's no good answer, but let's be clear, most former resource ministers in Australia go on to work for the fossil fuel industry after they're finished negotiating on our behalf about resources. The reality is, in countries that do it right, like Norway, they tax their gas industry and give their kids free higher education, and in countries like Australia that do it badly, we subsidise the gas industry and charge our kids a fortune to go to uni. Why? Why do the people we elect do this? I don't know, but I think either they have to change or we need to change the people we're electing.
So how can the government claim they're serious about climate change then?
I don't know. I don't know how any government that approves enormous gas projects like the North West Shelf extension or the latest Ulan coal mine approval, I don't know how any government can claim to be taking climate change seriously while ignoring what the UNFCCC says, while ignoring what the UN Secretary General says, while ignoring what the International Energy Agency says, which is that a world that's tackling climate change doesn't need new gas and coal. The science says no, this Labor government says yes. I guess either they have to change their policies, people have to change their votes, or we're going to change the climate.
And of course, when it comes to the fossil fuel industry in Australia, there's a whole lot more to unpack, but that's for another episode, so follow for more.